Hey guys, got a question for all of you. Do you have a lot of stuff? Like a lot of things? Things that are coming out of your closet? Is your closet looking like a dumpster diver's dream? Seriously? Let's talk about it. Hi there. Welcome in to the podcast, Strange Conversations. I'm your host, Joanne. Some of you may know me from my walking channel on YouTube, where I take to the streets of New York City, showing you guys everything in and around the Big Apple from walks, neighborhoods, dining, and events. So, check that out if you're interested in it. But here we're going to be exploring and sharing the strange conversations we've had in our life, the odd, the unusual, and most of all, the memorable. Now, let's get started on the topic, the decluttering of our lives. Have you guys tried doing this? Have you done it? I mean, I've done it. A lot of people wonder how I did it. I don't even know. And um, this is the reason why I'm talking about this is because it's come up so many times in my life. People talk about it like they have so much stuff. Their mom or their dad, they've kept everything for them and now they have it and they have to figure out what to do with it. Now, am I professional at this? No. I've not taken any class. I've not done anything like that. I am not a professional, but I think I'm pretty damn good at it. We have all watched those TV shows like on Netflix and HDTV. What is that? Home Garden Television? I don't know what the hell that is. But anyway, like tidying up or Marie Kondo. I mean, that's actually turned into a verb. Marie Kondoing. Did you Marie Kondo that? Remember how like she folds everything in a certain way? Like that's a whole nother level. I don't get to that level. I just get rid of my stuff. And then we have the complete opposite of decluttering out there. Those TV shows that like hoarders, those are enough to give you anxiety and make you definitely want to throw everything in your life that's extra away. Like you just want to get rid of it all. You want to live in a clean space with nothing and just one table, one shelf, one book. That's it. That's it. That's all you can handle for real. So let's talk about this. Now, for me, the conversation started like when we were moving to New York City. It was a huge undertaking. This was like a decade ago. We had a 1,600 square foot home, just about that. Okay. 1,600 square feet. It's not huge. A lot of our friends had 5,000 square foot homes, 3,000 square foot homes. Ours was only 1,600 square feet of living space. I swear to God, that's what it was. I don't know if they actually had everything in there. I don't know. I didn't walk around and measure the rooms, but that's what it was. It was a normal house in the Midwest. We had 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. We had an upstairs living space, a downstairs living space. We had a bar. We had a laundry room. We had a dining room, tiny little 2-car garage. We even had a screened in like deck, like up, a second story deck on our house. So it was a good space. And let me tell you, we filled that space, every inch of it. We filled it to the rafters, beyond the rafters if we could. We had stuff. We didn't have a shed. I will tell you, we didn't have a shed outside, but we did have like an attic and we filled every single closet, every inch of storage that we could with our stuff. And in a way, it was like, I don't know, a coming of age thing. Like, oh, I have a house. I must fill up the house. So, I mean, that's really the truth. Wherever you live is what you're going to fill up. I mean, if you won't get a big house, you're going to walk around in it empty? No, you're going to fill it. But are you filling it with stuff that you want? That's the question. And it really, like I said, came to light for me about 10 years ago when we were moving from Minnesota, the Twin Cities area, to New York City. And we had the realization is that our space constraint was going to change drastically. We did make a conscious decision to do it. And it was harder for some of us than others. I will tell you that I am the one who was readily and willing to pitch things. Joe, on the other hand, is more of a saver. He puts a lot of emotional attachment on things. I did too, but then I realized it's not like that thing isn't it. The emotional attachment I was having in it and putting to it is not the real thing. I still have those emotions. I still have those memories, but I don't need that thing there to bring it to me. And I think that's what a lot of people do. Now, let's talk about how to get rid of the stuff, how we did it. And like I said, that's where the conversation started. Now, when we moved to the 500 square foot, one bedroom apartment that I have now with actually one real closet, and by real closet, I mean it actually has a dowel where you can hang things, not a closet with shelves, but a closet that actually can hang stuff in and has like other shelves on top of it. I have the tiniest bathroom. There's no way that I could actually lay down in my bathroom. I couldn't lay down in my bathroom without being wrapped around the toilet and sticking half my body out of it. Just picture that. You can literally sit on the toilet, brush your teeth, and have your feet in the bathtub all at the same time. Swear to God, not lying. And I also have the tiniest kitchen. Okay, there's probably smaller ones, but it's pretty damn tiny. It's basically a one-person kitchen. It's not even a galley kitchen. There's no way two people really could, you cannot have two people in that kitchen. No way. Tiniest kitchen. Now, we do have a little foyer area, which is where I'm sitting today. It's a little different from what I normally do, but I'm in the little foyer. We call it our cafe. This is the weather window, in case you want to know. And I feel like it's got character. Like our building is over 100 years old. I guess that makes it pre-war. I don't know. But that's what they call it. It has character. In New York, well, you know what that means. And I got to tell you, like one of the things that brought it to me was a friend of mine. She had moved, this is back in Minnesota. She had moved from a house that she lived in Iowa, and she was moving to the Twin Cities, and she moved into a tiny little condo. And she said one of the hardest things was getting rid of everything. And she had to make the decision, and how she made the decision was that every item had to be either dual purpose or that item had to be too beautiful that she couldn't part with. Basically, it brought her joy. And I don't know why, but that statement that she said just stuck with me. It really did. It landed like right there. And I just kind of went with it. And I kind of said, okay. So when we were doing this whole, decluttering of our lives so we could move into the tiniest apartment ever that we could possibly afford, that's that was my guiding motto for real. It has to have a dual purpose, or it has to be too beautiful and bring me so much joy that I cannot part with it. So yeah, that's what my friend told me, and it stuck with me. I mean, here in New York City, a lot of people don't even use their kitchen as a kitchen. Like they don't even use it. I have a friend over here who I recently, I met a few years back. He's an entertainer, performer, and he has a kitchen. And he took me into his kitchen. He goes, "Do you think I cook in here?" No. He opened up all of his cupboards and he had his shoes, like great looking shoes for performing, because that's what he does. So he had shoes and clothes and props and things and memorabilia and all of that stuff that is so integral to his life. That's what was in his kitchen. Not stuff to cook with, not like food items and stuff. That's not how he lives. So you have to put there has to be what's important to you. That's how we do it here in New York. Like you have to live that way. Okay, now what do we do with all of our stuff? How do we get rid of it? How do we scale down? I'm going to tell you how we started it. First and foremost, you're going to have to go, just know that you're going to have to go through every closet, every cupboard that you have, every one. Now I'm going to advise you probably to start with the one that is the smallest because you feel like you accomplished something. Don't go to your big old walk-in closet that you currently have and work out of, because you will probably give up. Okay, I'm going to tell you, go to the closet that you probably put all your seasonal stuff in. That'll be the easiest one. Now you're going to bring with you a garbage bag. Literally bring a garbage bag, a black one. Don't bring one just bring it. Okay. You're going to need it. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to open that closet and you're going to be brutally honest with yourself. Okay. And by that, I mean, You aren't going to make excuses. That's not allowed. Not allowed. You're going to take everything out but piece by piece. Every single piece is coming out. Now, I want you to think about this when you're doing it. What do you wear every day? Now, guys, don't tell me, oh, I like to wear something different every day. Okay. Let's just be honest. Everybody wears a uniform of some sort. Okay. We all know this. There is a uniform that you will walk around in your house. Okay. What do you wear every day? Is it jeans and a simple top? Is it a polo top and a pair of shorts? Is it leggings and a tunic? Is that your regular go-to? What do you naturally gravitate towards in your closet? Those are the pieces that are the base of your wardrobe. Now, if you want to change it, that's different. But let's just be the here and now, and we're not there yet. We're at the here and now, okay? I came from a place where I had so much stuff in my closet, it was like a technicolor nightmare. I didn't know. It was so hard for me to get up in the morning and get dressed. Yes, I know I live in New York and I mostly wear black. Okay, that was a choice that I made. And for me, it works. I understand. Lots of people love to wear color, and that's cool. But just, you better have an eye for color and pattern, okay? You can't be throwing crazy. You can, okay, if you want to, you can, but you better scale it back or else it's like a nightmare. So let's just be brutally honest with ourselves. What do you wear on the daily? That's what you have to understand first. So every time you pick up a piece of clothes, you're going to ask you, would I wear this on a daily? If that is a no, you're already headed to the other thing. If that piece doesn't fit you, it's definitely going in the bag. If it's a piece that, it just doesn't work, it goes in the bag. And you're going to have to go through every single thing like that. If it doesn't fit, if there's a stain, if there's a tear, and you aren't a seamstress, you're putting it in the bag. That's just what it is. I don't care if it costs you $80, $100, or I don't care if you got it on sale for $5. It goes in the bag. Just do it. It's going to be so much better. And once you start doing that, it'll get easier and easier. And like I said, you're going to have to ask those hard questions. Does this fit me now? And I mean now. I mean, you put that clothes on now. Not like, well, if I lost 2 pounds or 5 pounds or 10 pounds or whatever, if I wear it with this, it'll fit. I didn't ask that question. I said, does it fit you now? Maybe you have great memories in it. Say, wonderful, and move on from that. Was it a gift from somebody, but you really don't like it, but your Nana gave it to you, but there's no way in the world you're going to wear it, or your mom gave it to you or something like that, but you're never going to wear it, it goes in the bag. Okay? It goes in the bag. I don't care. Like I said, even if you got it for $5 and you thought it was going to be great and it was on sale and you bought it because it was an impulse, you've never worn it, it goes in the bag. If you haven't worn it in probably 6 months and it wasn't because it's a heavy winter coat and it's now summer, if it's not that, then it goes in the bag. Okay? You got to keep that thing, and especially for shoes. They're not really comfortable, but you can only stand in them for like 15 minutes, but damn, they look fabulous and sexy. Are you really going to wear them? And if you really think they're so beautiful, you can't give them away, then keep them. You have to allow yourself that. But if you're not going to wear them and you really don't think that they're that beautiful, why are you holding onto them? You know what I mean? I have been through people's closets and there's so much stuff in them that I don't even know how they get dressed in the morning. It would be so overwhelming to me that I would just live off of one little space and be like, I'm just going to wear this clothes right here in this pile. That's it. I can't go any further into it. And I'm going to tell you, you're probably going to have a friend do this with you because one, you're going to need emotional support. Because you're going to have a freaking meltdown, and you better have wine or drinks or whatever comfort thing that you need, like coffee, tea, I don't know, but you're going to need that friend there so she can keep you with supply, or he, okay? And you're going to have them also be a friend, like a real friend who can say, Angela, that is hideous. That is ugly. I do not know why you're keeping it. It doesn't look good on you. You need that friend at that moment. buy them dinner for doing this for you. I mean, it actually might be a very good bonding thing, but you're going to need them because this is going to be hard for those, and I have seen some people's closets that just look like I said, a rainbow of chaos. And there is no way that they know what they have in there. There's none. There's no way that they know. When people pull out something, you're like, oh, I forgot about this piece. Why? I can tell you that I know what I have in my closet. I literally know what's in my closet. And every season I go through it and there ends up a pile of clothes in a bag to be taken to Goodwill or Housing Works. Every single time I go through it, probably, I'm going to say like every 4 months I go through my closet just because things fall out of fashion. You don't like it anymore. It doesn't look good. Get rid of it. Okay? That's what you have to do. And remember this. I think sometimes people hold on to things like shoes and things like that because it's almost like, I don't know, a comfort, a status. Like, you can say, I'm a shoe. People say I'm a shoe whore, or something like that. I love my shoes. I love my bags. Okay. But if you ain't wearing them, what are you doing with them? You are not, it's like they have the Imelda Marcos, craziness going on. They have hundreds of shoes, but they only wear 5. Why do you got hundreds of shoes? That doesn't make sense. I have shoes right now that I need to get rid of. And some of it's because, when I broke my ankle, some of those shoes actually caused it to hurt. And for some reason, I can't get rid of them. And it's like, I have to cut that line, and I will get rid of them. I will get rid of them because it's like pointless for me to keep having to look at those shoes and know that I can't wear them because I will have a problem. And some of them are brand damn new. It just makes me ill to think that I bought them and they were fine. But now, because of whatever, I can't wear them. And you're going to go through your stuff and you're going to do each room, guys. You're going to go through each closet, do each room, and you're going to be brutal with it. Okay? People are going to think you're crazy. And they're going to say, you spent so much money. It doesn't make a difference how much money it costs you. Because just think about it. You're storing it for free. Yeah, it's your stuff, but you're still storing it. And why? I've had friends that have moved from place to place to place, and they've never unpacked certain boxes. And I can't understand, why are you still moving it? You don't even know what's in that box. They moved it like twice, and it's still in the original packing box from the first move. Like, it's still in the same box. So anyway, you go through each closet, you make the bags, and then after you do the bag, after that closet, and you've got this bag of stuff, and maybe you got 2 bags, maybe you got 3. I don't know. Depends on how big your closet is. What you're going to do, if it's not dark, or whatever, but you're taking that stuff directly to the donation site, be it Goodwill, be it Housing Works, be it whatever. If it's like your church, I don't care where you take it to, but you are removing it from the premises. And here's the reason why. You are going to go back in that bag if it's still sitting in your house. Because one day, if it's still sitting in your house or in your basement, 1, it's still taking up the space. And 2, you're going to start double thinking it. You're going to be like, I kind of like that blazer. Maybe I should wear that blazer. I think I can make that. You're going to talk yourself into taking it out of the bag and putting it back in your closet. And that is a no. Because you didn't wear it before, and now all of a sudden you're going to rejuvenate it and have a new life? Let's be real. You're not going to do that. So it stays in the bag and it goes out the door. And you take it out the door, put it in the car, drive it to the place, or walk it to the place if you live in New York City, and you're going to get rid of it. You don't want to be tempted by it again. You know what I mean? You don't want to go back. Don't go backwards, guys. Don't go backwards. I can't. Literally, I can't. And I have had friends who've asked me to come to their place. I've had my sister-in-law actually ask me, please come to my house. We have to clean up my garage. I've seen people's garages and I'm like, just to get a match. I've literally, said it. I said, can we just do a match and keep a contained burn here, like the firemen do on like patches of grass along the highway because it's hot weather. They just do a contained burn. Can we do this here in the garage? Possibly. It would be easier than physically dragging everything out. But I've had that happen. I've had people ask me to do that. Now, this goes along the same lines as like your things. Like I said, a lot of my stuff, my furniture has a dual purpose. If at all possible, it has a dual purpose. And by that, like I said, my side table turns into a dining table. We have benches that have storage. My couch can also be a bed and has storage. Our bed has drawers in it and stuff. So like, it's just what it is. Everything has a dual purpose, or I super, super love it. And it actually makes for a much more like joyful and at ease atmosphere. And I get it that people have things that have been passed down to them and you attach your emotions to it. But the same theory, like according to like what I said with the clothes, if you haven't worn it, it doesn't fit, it doesn't work, goes for your items, your things, and your possessions. Like, how many pots and pans do you really need? Are you a professional chef? Are you cooking for a family of 10? Or is it just you and another person? Or is it you and your 2 kids and your husband? Or is it just you? Do you even cook? That's the other question. Do you even cook? I mean, come on. I had a friend who had every damn appliance, like every appliance you could possibly think of. We would go to the state fair and there was a new gadget. I've fallen into this trap, guys. I've fallen into the trap too. You go to the state fair or some show and they got some guy up there and he's chopping stuff and he's making salsa and guacamole, and holy moly, that's an amazing gadget. I need it. What about the person who does the popsicles and you put the stuff in the side and the stuff and you put the sticks in, and it's kind of like when you were a kid and you used to get popsicles, your popsicle treats, your homemade ones, but this does it instantly. Within a minute, you got a popsicle. I need it, right? Do I need it? No. But I bought it? Yes. Did I spend money on it? Yes. Did I use it? A couple times. Did it work as well? No, it really didn't work as well. But I still wanted it and then I kept it because I bought it and I spent money on it. You just have to be honest with yourself on this stuff, guys, for real. If you aren't a hostess with the mostest and you aren't hosting parties for, 20 people, can I ask, why do you have a set of dishware for 20 people? You don't ever host 20 people, but you got 20 damn different dish. You have a set of 20. You have place settings for 20, 10. There are like, listen, I had to come to grips with this, guys. I live in a small place. I had like a whole love affair with Fiesta ware. Because that was the thing, the Fiesta ware. That was a huge thing. You get all the brightly colored ones. You do like color code. Ooh, I love the cobalt blue. And oh my God, the Fiesta red. The yellow. Oh my God. Like you freak out. And then all the different assortment dishes. Whew. I can't even tell you. I had the plates, the dinner plates. I had the salad plates, like the little butter dish things. And then I even had the ones where you could make, like, they were like the carafe. I don't even know what they call them anymore, but they were like the little carafe things that you would have and stuff. It was fabulous. It was just fabulous. I had an entire set and I would just keep adding to it, just adding and adding to it. I'm going to say I probably had over 200 pieces of Fiesta ware. And when we moved to New York City, I got rid of them all because it wasn't going to work. It just wasn't it. And it was like from another era. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't me anymore. And I knew I wasn't going to be hosting 20 people in my house at any time. And if I was, I'll figure it out, So you got to think about that. So now what do I have? I have different size plates. But I have 4 of each. I literally only have 4 of each. And if we break one, it's like, well, I got to get a replacement. There's only 3 people in our family. I don't have a dishwasher. So I'm not using 20 plates and letting them rack up. That doesn't even make sense. Just wash the dishes. We don't have, like, let's ask this question. How many coffee mugs do you have? Now, if you bought a place setting, you actually have coffee cups that came with the place setting, probably, right? But do you use those? Probably not. I bet you guys all have these little fancy dancy mugs. Now, there are some mugs I love, and I will get them with stains on it. Of course, I get my YO Ang mugs because those designs are mine, and I love them. But picking up mugs randomly, you know how you acquire mugs, people buy you mugs. It's not something you got a free mug. You know what I mean? It gets so beyond. You could end up with a collection of mugs, of like 30 mugs, coffee mugs, for no other reason that you just accumulated them over the years. You got the random mug that you brought home from the office because it was there and you needed a mug for coffee, and then it became your mug, and then you left that company, so you took your mug. You don't even know why that mug says Dave on it. You know what I mean? And your name is Tom. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It's random stuff. So like, how many of certain things do you need? Do you need a rice cooker? If you need a rice cooker, have a rice cooker. I still have a rice cooker. I am still debating about getting rid of it because, one, I have to eat like keto and low carb. I don't make rice. Now my son does. He could make rice. Has he made rice? No. But in my head, I'm thinking, what if he wants to make rice? I don't know if that's really a smart thing to do. I should just get rid of it. And like I said, I am not perfect. I go through the same thing, but it's like an evolution. Like at least I'm thinking about getting rid of it because I haven't used it since I started doing the low carb keto thing. And that was over 2 years ago, guys. So it's been sitting up there, not being used for 2 years. Think about it. 2 years it's been sitting up above there. I don't know why I have it. Like in the garage, are you using the bowling ball? Are you using your golf clubs? What about those ice skates? Do you really go ice skating? Do you live in California and you go ice skating? Think about it. Do you? No. I had bowling balls. We had tennis stuff. We had bikes. We had golf clubs. We had all of those things. And we rarely did any of them, even when we had those things. So when we moved to New York City, we knew for sure I wasn't going to be going golfing on the weekend. One, I don't like to golf. Why do I have them? Well, for the random off chance that somebody wanted to go, I don't know, golf. Same thing with the bowling ball. Bowling's okay, but do I really need my own ball? I don't know. Joe still thinks we need our own balls, but am I going to carry those things on the subway? They're heavy. And his was really heavy. So think about that. How often do you use it? If you are a golfer or a bowler or an ice skater, then yes. But if you haven't done it in 5 years or whatever, get rid of it. Why are you holding on to it? It's the same thing like with like chairs and stuff that you get handed down, like heirloom items. I know this is a touchy subject. When we moved here to New York, we brought very little of the furniture that we had. One, we had gorgeous leather furniture, but it was oversized. It would not have fit into the door. Okay. It just wouldn't have even, I don't think we could have gotten it down the little hallway we have and stuff. So we didn't bring the leather furniture, even though it was like butter. It just wouldn't have worked. But I did bring my grandfather's old chair. And this was an armchair that he always sat in every single day. And I had such an emotional attachment to it because I could always remember sitting next to him on the floor when he was in his armchair and stuff. And we would just talk and have conversations and we would watch TV. And I had such an attachment to this armchair, and he had a footstool with it and stuff. And I swore I was going to keep it forever. It was like my one piece, but that was because I had the emotional attachment to it. And I was going to make it work here. We brought it to New York. And I'm going to tell you, New York really makes you look at stuff. And it didn't work. I tried for a month to make that chair work. I thought about reupholstering it. I thought about getting it done. It was too low. It didn't have this. It wasn't as comfortable. It didn't fit with the look of the apartment. There was nowhere to put it. I just went over and over in my head, you know, and what was I going to use it for if I wasn't going to use it for that? And it just didn't make sense. So I had to come to the realization to get rid of it, and I don't know if I was holding on to it for like our son. And I think it happens to a lot of people. They hold on to things like an heirloom piece of furniture or, I don't know, grandma's broken watch. And the watch isn't even valuable. Like there's no real value there except sentimentality and stuff. And we hold on to these items thinking that we're going to pass that item down to our children. But you know what's funny? We don't even know if our children want it. Like we are now putting the burden of those emotional attachments onto somebody who hasn't even asked for them. And now we're going to give that anxiety to them. Why are you doing that? Why were we doing that? So I got rid of the chair. I got rid of the stool. Yeah, it was kind of, but you get to the point where you just like, everybody's like, weren't you upset? You know what? I would have been upset, but I got to that point of that. I was tired of moving it around, trying to make it work. And it just didn't work. And then it started like every time I saw the chair, I wasn't thinking of my grandfather. I was thinking this chair isn't working. That's what it changed into. So no longer was my emotions of my grandfather attached to it. It now became an object of pain and anxiety. It just made me crazy. So I put it downstairs. And that's like one thing that happens in New York. I don't know if all apartments are like this, but we have like a lobby area. And a lot of times, or they could use outside. I've seen this a lot here in New York. It's called like stoops and stuff. But you either put it down in the lobby or you put it outside at the curb. Somebody will come and take it if they want it. That's how you can repurpose it too. For items like that, you can just put it downstairs. I can't tell you how many things I've seen that gets taken to the basement and then all of a sudden the super has it doing something or somebody else is dragging it up to their apartment. People put like notifications all the time in the elevator, free, blah, 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 or whatever. But the stoop sale thing is a real thing too. In fact, the funny thing is I had overheard this conversation between two. I got it right here. I'm scrolling for it. And it was really funny. I was at the coffee shop just down the street, guys. The little Korean one that we'd like to go to, which is really good. They have Brooklyn Roasting Company coffee. It's so good. But anyway, I was sitting there and I was listening to these people, these two women talking. And woman one had said, that she had seen this awesome dresser the other day at a stoop sale. Now, a stoop sale is basically like a garage sale or yard sale, but we don't have yards or garages. I'm not here in the city. So what you do is you bring all your stuff out onto the street and you sell it or you give it away. Some stuff just says free and stuff. And so that's what happens in the city. And I've been seeing them all summer. All summer we look at them. Sometimes Lauren and I will go to one because it's advertised on like Facebook or something. And anyway, so this woman said she saw this really great looking dresser, whatever. I have no idea what it looked like. But, her friends is like, well, did you get it? And this one I actually started giggling at because I'm like, that is so New York. The first woman says, no, my roommate said if I bring in one more lost item to the apartment, she's going to start charging me storage for all of my stuff. And she's like, so I can't afford it. I'm thinking to myself, how much stuff do you bring in? I have a feeling she's like a little hoarder and she just keeps bringing in new. It's like they're lost little puppies or something, but it's like stuff like, oh, piece of furniture here, piece of furniture there. Oh, I love this. I love that. But, a lot of people share apartments and I can get like why the roommate would say it. And I don't know if she was serious, but you know what I mean? People bring home the weirdest stuff. Like for a moment there, Lauren had brought home a Chase lounge like she was Cleopatra. And she's like, oh, I got it. I love it. And I'm like, I don't know about that one. You know, one, it's furniture. And two, it's been left on the curb. I didn't want to get into it, but needless to say, she's now bought an entire, like, a whole, like, living room, set thing. And that whole, like, Cleopatra thing is no more. She didn't have room. She lives in a studio apartment. Okay. So you can't be having too much. And so she decided to go buy an entire set, which she now loves. So, but for real, you can't be dragging home everything. It's so funny. It's so funny, guys. You know, and like I say, everybody's like, but I got it for that and this and everything. And I'm like, yeah, Goodwill has hundreds of stuff like that too. It doesn't mean that it's good that you got it cheap, because we'll be like, well, I got it this price at, what do you call it? Yeah, Goodwill has those things too. And they're there because guess why? Why do you think this looks at Goodwill? Because nobody else wanted it. So you better be going through that stuff with a fine tooth comb. Somebody like you at this moment brought their stuff to Goodwill. Think about it. Think about it. Now, this next part is kind of like it's kind of hard. Souvenirs. Now, we like to travel, okay? And for a while there, when we first started traveling, souvenirs were something we loved. Like, you would go someplace, you want to bring home a piece of that place with you, right? And then it's like suddenly you started accumulating all these souvenirs from different places. They're almost like, that's like the crack to a person who loves to hoard, is souvenirs. Joe loves souvenirs. I had to convince him that we had to change our thought process on souvenirs, and that the souvenirs would turn into pictures and stuff. And so now that's what we bring home. We try not to buy a lot of stuff. Do I have some things like that? Yes, I do. I do have some Venetian glass from Venice because it was too beautiful for me not to get. Okay. But that fit within my whole thing. It was so beautiful. I had to get it. I try not to buy the weirdo stuff, just the random stuff. And if I do buy it, I have to remember that's what it is. It's not something permanent. You don't have to keep it just because you bought it, And then that gets us into another thing. What do you do about people who are trying to gift you their junk? Do you guys have that happen to you? Somebody, you walk into their place, oh my God, I had this and I thought of you. No, I do not want your old Monopoly board. Yes, Joe used to love to play Monopoly, but we don't need 3 different kinds of Monopoly. I have one right now, and that's all we're going to have. In fact, we have one Monopoly, and it's called New Yorkopoly, and that is the only one we're going to have. In fact, we can't buy things like that because Joe will go crazy. We used to have an entire wall of shelves that was just games because that's how Joe grew up. And he had a lot of games from when he was a little kid. He still had the same game. We had to gift those all away to people that actually wanted them. And we wanted to make sure that they wanted them. Because a lot of times people are gifting away their stuff just to get rid of it because they can't stand the idea of throwing it away, because I guess gifting it is still giving it the same life that it had, or it's carrying on, or I don't know. It doesn't make the money that they spent on the item a waste. But it's not, it's not a waste if you used it for what you wanted to. And if it no longer is of use in your life, well, it wasn't a waste. That's just what it was. I actually will say, I've had people that want, like, oh my God, I have all of these magazines of blah, blah, blah. And you like that. It's so hard. And my grandma would do that to me. She would say, oh, I've got all these magazines and they have all of this in there. And it would be like a cooking magazine, or I don't know, like a knitting or crochet magazine. That's wonderful. But I am not going to do all those recipes, and I am not going to crochet or knit any of that stuff. If I want to do one of those projects, I'm probably going to look for that specific project and do that project. I'm not going to be flipping through old magazines to find it. I just am not. Are you going to do it? I don't have the room to store that. Where would I put that? And here's the thing, like I always remembered that once we did this whole scale down and decluttering of our lives, I can't tell you how that made my mental state so much calmer and so much like clearer. Like to come home and not have to worry about moving stuff or, oh God, I look at those books and I don't ever read the books. It doesn't happen anymore. It honestly doesn't happen anymore. Like it makes everything so much cleaner, so much simpler. We come home, we put the groceries away. The groceries are away. We come home, we only have so much stuff in our closet for clothes. That goes away. I wear just about everything in my closet at some point within a year. Seasonal, you know what I mean? I will wear everything. Josh does the same thing. And now you would think that my son would be more of a person who hoards. No, he actually goes through his stuff almost on a quarterly basis. Does he wear it? Does he not wear it? Does he like it? Is it really fitting it? No more. He goes through this. And if he wants to, he consigns some of it, and other stuff he gives away, or it's wild. He constantly is culling what he has. You know, it's a good practice to stay into, because it makes one, packing so much easier, and two, putting away your clothes so much easier. It makes everything so much simpler. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts. Are you going to declutter your life? Do you want to? I think most people do, especially when you become, at a certain level, a certain age, you've accumulated so much stuff. I don't want to be the person who has so much stuff that because we're all going to go at some point, and it's not anytime soon, but when that happens, I don't want to pass on that burden. You know what I mean? Like, if you're at my age already, you've already had to go through some of that, possibly with a grandparent or a parent, anything like that. It's agonizing, and it makes the transition so much harder. And at that point, you can't even think. You don't know what was what, and if it has any value, and you just really want to get to the end. So I hope this maybe helped some people think about it. Like, what do you guys find important? What do you guys wear? What do you guys do with stuff? Comment on this podcast, drop me an email at AngelaNYCday@gmail.com. Like, tell me what you have or would like to declutter in your life. I'm interested in people's hacks for this kind of thing. I'm always looking for a new way to make things simpler. Like cleaning out a drawer or a cabinet and making it all organized and simple. Oh my God, that is like, I don't know. It gets me so excited and so happy when things are straight. When things are straight, to me, it's like glorious. You know what I mean? I always want to streamline something in my living space. And anyway, I also feel like if you have a streamlined space or organized space, your mind is organized because it's not full of everything that you haven't done. When you look at it, if I look at the shelf that I'm staring at right now, the only thing on it are the mugs that we will use every day, a plant and a candle. That's it. Mugs, all in a line, and the plant and the candle. Simple. Why does there need to be anything else on that shelf? Nothing needs to be on that shelf. You know what I mean? And it looks aesthetically pleasing. Think about it every time. So I want to wish you guys to have a great day. I want you to declutter one space in your life, okay? One space. I don't care how big the space is. Just do one space. It could be the junk drawer that every single person, every one of you out there that I know has in your kitchen. You guys know the drawer I'm talking about, the one that you throw everything into. Declutter it. Get rid of it. You got to do it. Don't keep adding to it. I mean, even if it grows back, and it's kind of like what happens, right, guys? You have a junk drawer and you declutter it, but then it kind of grows back like a fungus. I don't know why. But declutter one space in your world today. And I want you guys to have joy and beauty in your life. So guys, thank you so much for listening. Until next time, keep having those strange conversations. And I'll see you on the streets of New York City. Later.